My class is making me use AI, and it's going to make me a hypocrite. Same here. I got to agree. I asked my friends what was bothering them because I needed prompts for this video, and this was the one I got in return. It bothers me too. It makes perfect sense. But the first thing that really bothers me is that AI can't do anything without like the theft of the work that other people create. We all know by now, like this has been on the internet for long enough that nothing that AI can generate is done without consuming so much data produced by real people. The most embarrassing example of this that I keep seeing is when I watched Drew Gooden's video about AI. This is a really popular video. He pointed out that Adobe is blatantly filling their platform with a bunch of AI generated stock images that Adobe expects real creators to use, apparently. Um, More importantly, these photos cost the same as actual stock photos that real photographers had to produce. To me, I feel like this is a huge indicator of the worst part of the AI situation. We're commodifying art, and we're mass producing data theft, which I feel risks ruining art for anyone who doesn't take media consumption abundantly seriously. Um, what do I mean by that? I mean that millions of millennials have already bought AI Highland cow throw pillows from the farmers market. I mean that AI generated designs can be found everywhere on the internet, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Google Images of all places. And there's just never an easy way to filter it out. I feel like that's a core component with all pieces of AI is they want it in your face, they want it on your feed, and they don't want you to have an easy way to turn it off. It's it's always locked behind a wall. For example, Instagram's new AI policy. They're going to be tracking all of their users through Reels and through DMs. I'm sure you've heard about this, and if you haven't, look up a tutorial on how to turn it off. Count how many steps are in that tutorial. It's unreal. Um, I think what bothers me the most is that these companies have instantly sold out for the AI boom because it messes with their stock price, it makes their shareholders happy, and I understand that that's how companies work, but it's just so counterintuitive most of the time. Data from Reddit is being pooled to answer serious life or death questions on Google without any form of fact checker being in place. And for what? So, like, shareholders can make more money? So, Nvidia and two other companies can keep passing money back and forth so their green line goes up? I just don't see it, and I don't think the experts do either. I mean, as I'm writing this script, 13 hours ago, Business Insider published an article titled, quote, "One under the radar market signal shows the AI boom might be close to ending." It's it's over. Even the finance pros I talked to on campus seem to agree that this green line AI thing isn't going to last forever. So, what is the end game for these companies? So far, it seems like OpenAI and all of these other AI companies, Google, Perplexity, they're trying to get their foot in the door for my generation. They're inflating the importance of AI so that it reaches schools. I'm sure if you're a college student, you've noticed that Perplexity AI and Google Gemini both offer huge promotional deals for their pro versions of their AI tools to students. Perplexity, I believe, is free. I'm not sure Google Gemini. Um, I'm assuming this is so that the freshmen can start cheating as soon as possible, rot their brains, utterly depend on these tools so that they pay for it when it goes paid. Um, I I feel like this presents students with a ridiculous choice, though, that even I myself don't really know how to approach. Do I use AI or do I refuse to engage with it? Um, and I truly don't know. This is where my facts and logic, so to speak, kind of run out. Survey says I shouldn't use AI. It's killing the planet. It's killing the brains of everyone who inhabits said planet. It kills any form of integrity for the art world. But on the other hand, there's so much short-term gain, unhealthy, should I add, short-term gain in abusing AI. Business majors, if you think about it, they're not going to have to do a single assignment again for the rest of their life. Um, every professor, I feel like, tells me at the start of a class that I admire your opinion on this new technology to refuse it, but I fear that students who ignore it will be left behind in the job market. So what's the answer? Like, what do I do? Do I stand strong in my morals? Do I refuse to use AI? Use this stupid ass shit? Do I leverage myself ahead? Do I champion this malicious waste of energy so that I can get a job? Pass everybody else who's actually doing the right thing? Ironically, I feel like the AI crisis, among a bunch of other things, has tanked the economy so bad that I feel like anything I can do to get a job is low key warranted. Like, half of my generation is going to struggle to afford housing. All of us are going to be renting, essentially. Also, that Airbnb owners can leverage their 15 shitty houses so that nobody else can actually own a home. Everyone has to rent all the time. I feel like it's not an invalid fear to be worried about the corner that my whole generation is backed into. I feel like the AI line is pretty blurry. Um, but the point I've been trying to articulate is that like even if you loathe AI, it's not going anywhere unless we're lucky enough that when this AI bubble pops, the technology is just going to disappear. But the worrying bit to me is that it's being introduced to us in all the wrong ways, like I mentioned earlier. AI shouldn't be allowed in schools at all. And I feel like a lot of schools are on the same page about that. You have academic misconduct offices are almost jumping the gun on punishing students for using AI, and I'm all for it. I don't know why it would ever be in the classroom. That's so contradictory to how this tool ends up making its way into higher ed in the first place. Because what do you mean you have to take a class to graduate from my college, not a small college, by the way, um, entirely focused on AI? A class that's existed for years but has been converted into AI education for presumably no reason. I mean, think about high schoolers. High schoolers who found this out in like ChatGPT 1.0 have now missed 3 years of education, assuming they relied on ChatGPT for everything, which God forbid, I hope they didn't do. Um, I'm worried about what this effect is going to have on younger kids. I can't imagine what a seventh grader has to deal with right now. Like, surely these kids are aware that letting a robot do all their work for them is a bad idea. Like, I would assume that. But is the intuition of a 14-year-old really going to be the only defense the human race has against AI? Equally worrying, is the economy going to be any better for them than it is for us? At the end of the day, I feel like we just don't know. Like, we don't know what's going to happen with AI. We don't know. I mean, we know some of the effects. We know if you use it too much, your brain activity drops dramatically. We know it wastes water and lowers property value. We know it steals art and repackages it as incomprehensible horrors that I would never have been able to conjure until it happened in real life. We know that the entire domestic economy is basically relying on these three AI companies to keep trading money around. I mean, Nvidia stopped making graphics cards so that they could focus more on AI development. The core focus, the core focus of Nvidia for the last decade, if not marginally longer, has been making graphics cards, has been producing chips, has been making the most innovative technology for computers. And I guess they've decided that now the most innovative technology for computers is AI, which to me is utterly ridiculous. I mean, heaven forbid I have to buy RAM soon because that's not going to go well. It's not comforting, the situation we're in. It's really not. But it doesn't need to be. I feel like nobody in history has been like, yeah, we live in a great time, unless it was like the 20s, and then you would have no excuse. But remember, it doesn't really have to be your job to fix the AI situation. Like you just have to lock in. That's the thing. Unless you're a huge executive listening to this right now, which I feel like the odds are pretty low, you probably just need to get your work done. You probably just need to think a little bit. You probably just need to learn. You need to exercise. You got to talk to your neighbors. You need to pick up hobbies. You got to write things down, listen to things, compose things, feel things. I feel like the easiest way to feel that you're doing your part against this whole AI thing is to fight back by doing all the stuff that AI can't do. Pick up a hobby, play an instrument, make the absolute most of your human experience in your short time on this planet. Suffer a little bit because AI doesn't feel that emotion. They don't feel pain. It doesn't feel the struggle that comes with learning something, mastering something. Because I feel like in your time on this planet, it should be your job to do what makes you happy. And I don't think that overutilization of AI will ever bring you that same level of happiness. Um, if I'm being totally transparent, it's this line of thinking that kind of got me to make this video in the first place. If you know me personally, you know I've grappled with the idea of making videos for a really long time, but I figured I could just share this. I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest, to be so honest. My goal is for this video to just be enjoyed by one person. So if I can hit that, that'll be cool. One like. Unironically, my goal is one like. Brand new channel. We're gonna see how this goes. Thanks for being here. Have a good one. I'm gonna try to do the same. Thanks.